and welcome to the Bush Block Homestead. We've come out today to check the yard for water and soft spots. We had about 2 weeks of solid rain. Nothing, severely heavy, but enough to keep it wet because it rained nearly all day for 2 weeks, which was hilarious because we've just been through a couple of months of next to no rain. Alright, so the driveway entering the block seems to be alright. There is still water out in the gutters around the roads as you enter in, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. The drive all the way up to this point here seems to be pretty healthy. So we think the big truck can get on with all our steel, because we ordered some steel a few weeks back, but by the time the steel got to the place we ordered it, the rain started, which means no go on the block. So that's what we're checking out today, to check if it can get on. We're going to ask the guy to reverse on the block, because that way if he does for some reason get bogged, it's just easier to get him out and less damage, because they'll need a crane to come in as well. Now from there, Mr. Bush Block wants the trailer to reverse onto that pad over there, which seems to be pretty strong. I just don't know if the truck is going to be able to reverse the trailer while keeping all the wheels in the center of the drive, because as soon as you go to the edges, you're going to sink, and then that's going to be troubles, and then we've got to pay the expenses to get it all fixed up, and that's just not going to happen. So between Mr. Bush Block and the driver, they have to keep the wheels in the center of the drive. If they can reverse over to there, that'll be fantastic, because in between the two sets of containers is where they want to drop all the steel. Now what the truck cannot do, under no circumstances, is drive on this bit of the driveway. If you compare this to when the drive first got done, we have lost a bit of the edge. Have a closer look down here. You can see we've lost, that's got to be easily ½ a metre has sunk into the wallam. We have driven on there when it's been dry, and it's just sinking in even in the dry. So that's why the truck can't go in that part. It will just sink, and you don't stop sinking until you basically are buried. So we don't want that to happen. So yeah, that part of the drive there is a definite no-go zone. Mr. Bush Block's not happy that I put my foot down on that, but tough luck. Don't have the finances to be able to fix up the drive again, especially when I'd like to be living in there by Christmas 2015. I'm sort of given us a bit of a time restriction, but I want to be in there on living in some capacity by Christmas 2015. So we'll have to see how we go. That's given us 12 months thereabouts to try and get the job done. Once the steel gets out here, that helps speed up the process. We're going to level the floors, obviously make the walls inside, and then deck it out. We're going to live pretty simply to begin with. We're not going to put in proper bathrooms and proper kitchens and all of that initially, just in case we change our minds on what we want and where we want it. So we're going to sort of do more of a bush setup, but not hillbilly style. We're getting a bit closer to the tank setup, where that portable 1,000 litre tank is there in the back, and there's one at the other end of the containers. We're now contemplating putting 10,000 litre containers there, and then when they get full, probably lining up the really big containers, like 20,000 litre containers, water tanks, along that strip there, sort of starting in there where that bent tree is, that one there. We'll start there probably, and then just as they fill up, or as we can afford them, put the next one and the next one and the next one in. We reckon by the time we've got 3 20,000 litre tanks, we should be pretty right for when the dry spell hits. So we'll just have to see what happens. We've also come out to check the silky oaks that we planted. And our favourite one's still doing strong. It's grown a little bit more. There you go, you can just see it there. So it's doing good. And I had a bit of a giggle when we got out here this morning. This spot down here, Mr. Bush Block planted a little palm from our yard. Don't know if it'll grow or not, but that's okay. And I had to start laughing because we have a pumpkin vine has just popped up, and if you can see them, producing. If you can see them there. No, it won't focus. All those other little green bushes just around, the majority of those are tomato plants. And they've popped up in a few spots around where we've planted the new silky oaks and that. And a couple of pumpkin vines have popped up. So fingers crossed with coming into the wet season that after the steel gets delivered they get enough rain to keep them alive. It'll be lovely to see the pumpkin vines growing and producing. And if that does happen, we can say that's our first produce on the block. Alright, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Bush Block. Bye!